Second, ma'am, can you speak?
Yes, both of you are done. Till here. Second question.
Yeah.
I'm done. Done.
Yes, both of you are done, students.
Yeah.
Done.
Both of you are done, students. Still here.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, you're supposed to show the 11th options. Ma'am,
All right. Okay, students, done till here? Any doubts?
ma'am, the 11th one.
11th one you have a doubt in.
Yeah.
Which one of the following statement? Okay, let's discuss from the beginning. We'll see one by one. Okay. Okay, what is the answer for the first question?
See.
Okay, let's. Actin filament. Which one is this? This will be the I band, right? The contractile unit will be the sarcomere, isn't it? So C option 4. This one has C option 4. This one, all of them have option 4 as C. And then sarcomere D option 3. D option 3, this one and this one. Okay. Fast muscle fibers and slow muscle fibers. Fast muscle fibers. Which one are you people saying? Yeah, slow muscle fibers will be the myoglobin, isn't it? Because the whole entire
Yeah.
contraction happens. Yes, very good. Ribs are attached to the
Sternum.
Sternum.
sternum. Very good. And what is the position of the attachment, students? Also, both of you switch on your videos. What is the attachment position, students?
Can you repeat?
How? Okay.
No. Can you repeat?
What is like you people are right that you said that ribs are attached to the sternum, but my question is, what is the position of attachment in terms of biology?
Ventral.
Ventral position. So ventrally they are attached onto the sternum, and dorsally they are attached onto.
The vertebral column.
Very good. What is the type of movable joint present between the atlas and the axis? Which joint is there?
A. Pivot.
Pivot joint. ATPase of the muscle is located in which part?
Myosin.
Myosin. Which part of myosin, students? The heavy or the light?
Head.
Head. Very good. The heavy part, right? Okay. The intervertebral disc is found in the vertebral column of
Mammals.
mammal, right? Intervertebral disc, the disc are present like that. Okay. Which one of the following is showing the correct sequential order of vertebrae in the vertebral column of human beings?
Mom, D.
D. Cervical. First, the neck region, cervical, thorax, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal. Very good. Which one of the following pairs is incorrect?
Mom, the first one.
A.
Which type of joint is present in there? Humerus and pectoral girdle.
I know the hinge joint is the elbow and the knees.
Yeah, that's true. So humerus and the pectoral girdle has which type of joint present?
Mom, is it gliding?
No, not gliding. The one that would allow the motion in all ranges, circally. Which one?
Ball and socket?
Ball and socket. So ball and socket would be there. Same for the legs also. Knee joint and elbow joint are the example of.
Hinge joint.
Ball and socket.
No.
Oh.
Now knee and elbow joints are example of hinge. Okay, the one that can only provide one range of motion. Macrophages and leukocytes, they exhibit which type of behavior?
Amoeboid movement.
Amoeboid. Very good. Which one of the following is not a disorder of bone?
D.
What is it the disorder of?
I know the
What is
first three are the disorders of bone. So that's the odd one also.
Acha. So what is the other name of atherosclerosis? You people have studied this.
CAD?
Yes, coronary artery disorder. This is the disorder of our circulatory system, right? Okay, now this one you people had a doubt in. Which one of the following statement is incorrect? Heart muscles are striated and involuntary. The muscles of hands and legs are striated and involuntary. Muscles located in the inner wall of alimentary canal are striated and involuntary. Which involuntary muscles, the smooth muscles, they are not striated, they are fusiform, like this. So this one would be the wrong one. Clear? See, all those involuntary muscles will always be unstriated. It will never be striated muscles. Okay, which one of the following statement is true?
D.
B, head of the humerus articulates with the glenoid cavity of the pectoral girdle. Very good. We always have to make GH because GF is not allowed, right? And what is the cavity of the femur attaches to? Where did she go? It is the acetabulum, right? Aisha, switch on your video. Muscles with characteristic striations and involuntary. Which one of them?
Heart?
Heart, the muscles of the heart, right? But always remember the striations are faint striations. They are involuntary. Match the following and mark the correct option. Which one is the correct one? Which one? Which one is the right answer, Aisha? Okay, glenoid cavity
Yes.
is concerned with the pectoral girdle, right? Freely movable joint is because of the synovial fluid. Then cartilage joints and sternum. Sternum
Sternum,
is that
flat
flat,
bones.
and then cartilage, right? The vertebrae. Okay. So you people had no doubts in the whole entire question set? Easy questions were there, okay? All right. So today we're going to begin with a new chapter, that is excretory products and their elimination. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Now see, excretory products and their elimination. This particular chapter is concerned with the removal of nitrogenous waste from the body, right? This is what we call as excretion. Now, during the process of excretion, what happens is that the blood of the organism is filtered out to remove the poisonous stuff or the stuff that is not needed, and then it is expelled out of the body. Then we are saying that the whole entire process of excretion is the removal of nitrogenous waste from the body, right? So let us see what are the various kinds of nitrogenous waste. So the different kinds of nitrogenous waste that are excreted by animals, there are basically three types: ammonia, urea, and uric acid. Out of them, ammonia is the most toxic nitrogenous waste, whereas the uric acid is the least toxic. And what do we mean by most toxic, least toxic? It's that if a particular nitrogenous base is there, which requires a lot of water for it to be excreted out or for it to be eliminated, then that is called as what? The most toxic. Like ammonia, it requires large amount of water for the elimination process. And the nitrogenous waste that will require the less amount of water, we'll call it as the least toxic nitrogenous base, that is uric acid. Now, depending
But
upon the
ma'am,
type,
many people suffer from uric acid, right?
uric acid.
But then how can it be the least toxic if several people suffer?
See, least toxic doesn't mean it's not toxic at all. Out of them, this is the one that is less toxic comparatively. But still it is toxic. Still it is bad. Excess of uric acid starts to get deposited in our joints. That causes gout, right? So this is bad, definitely. But it's just that it is the lesser toxic as compared to the rest of the nitrogenous base that are there. And lesser toxic meaning that it would require less amount of minimum loss of water for it to be eliminated out of the body. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now see, depending upon the type of nitrogenous waste that are generated by the organisms, they are of three types: ammoniotelic, ureotelic, and uricotelic. Ammonotelism, see the phenomena wherein the ammonia is the nitrogenous waste. Okay, the process of excreting the ammonia as the nitrogenous waste is called as ammonotelism. So mostly this is for the aquatic organisms like the bony fishes, the aquatic amphibians, the aquatic insects. So particularly the aquatic organisms that are there, they are ammoniotelic in nature. It means that they have ammonia as their excretory product. Now ammonia, it is readily soluble. So for the, like you can say, for the removal of ammonia from the body of the organism, since it is soluble, so it can pass through the plasma or it can pass through the surface of the body. So by simple diffusion. So it is generally excreted by diffusion across the body surfaces or through gills in the case of fishes, as in the form of ammonium ions. Here, kidneys, they do not play any role in their removal. Okay, so aquatic invertebrate, meaning the lower organisms such as the amoeba, the sponges like the porifera, hydra, crayfish, tadpole of the frog, these are all ammoniotelic. So always remember, ammonotelism is found in those organisms that are predominantly marine in their habitat. Is it clear?
Yeah.
All. After that, there comes ureotelism. So those organisms, now see, when you can say when the organisms started to evolve and they came, like initially all the organisms, they lived in the water. But slowly, settlement of the organisms on the land began, and as a result of which they started to adapt better, or they had lesser toxic nitrogenous waste. Okay, why? Because now they were on the land, they don't have enough access to water. Like the aquatic organisms are surrounded by water all around, but the organisms that are terrestrial, they have limited availability of water or limited what do you call it? Presence of water around them, right? So that is why they evolved this mechanism that their body will not be secreting such a highly toxic waste that would require excessive water loss. Because since they do not have water in their surrounding, they cannot like afford the loss of excessive water from their body. So in order to conserve the water, they excrete out the lesser toxic nitrogenous waste such as the urea and the uric acid. Now, urea can be tolerated in much more concentrated form because it is this many times less toxic, 1 lakh times less toxic than ammonia. Imagine how less toxic it is, right? And you people see, like for example, like how we drink water, right? And normally we have the whole entire cycle throughout the day and we feel the need to urinate, right? But sometimes like a person would go only a few times during the day, isn't it? It means that from one day to the next day, your body has that urea present in it. Isn't it? Like, for example, there's a person who drinks comparatively less amount of water. So their kidneys are filtering out less amount of blood, right? And always remember that the urine is formed as a result of filtration of the blood or removal of waste from the blood. So since they have less water, so it's like from day 1 to day 2, they don't go to urinate. So in that case, the urea is already present in the body, but it is not harming us. Harm will begin when it will not get excreted at all. So that is why it is tolerable. The toxicity of urea and uric acid is tolerable, but ammonia is not tolerable. So many like mammals, many terrestrial amphibians and marine fishes mainly excrete urea, and we call them as ureotelic animals. And this excretion of urea, this phenomena is called as ureotelism. Now, ammonia produced by metabolism is converted into urea. Now, see, in our body, ammonia is also produced, but that ammonia doesn't persist in our body for a long period of time because we have a proper cycle in our cell or in our, you can say, cellular environment wherein the ammonia gets converted into urea and then it is filtered out. So, ammonia doesn't accumulate in our body. It's not at all present in our body. Okay. So ammonia which is there, it gets converted. Whenever ammonia is formed, it gets converted into urea. And where does it happen? It happens in the liver of these animals and released into the blood, which then gets filtered and excreted out by the kidneys. But again, it's not that whatever amount of urea which is there in our body, all of it will be sent out. No, some urea is kept. And it's important. Why? To maintain the osmolarity, to maintain the level. So it's not that every single, like if we had 100 grams of urea formed, 100 grams will be excreted out. No.
Now, what's
some amount.
osmolarity?
Osmolarity is like the balance of the ions in our body. Okay, balance. The osmotic balance of our body is called as the osmolarity. So that has to be maintained, and for that, some amount of urea is retained. Clear? Understood? So this was about ammonotelism and then ureotelism. Now tell me if you people have any doubts. Anything you want to ask?
What are ions used for in our body?
Ions, they're used for a lot of things. Like for example, a conduction in our body. Like impulse, like whenever any message is sent to the body. It's all ionic. Okay? It's all ionic. Ions are very important because, and you might have seen that if a person has, like if a person is really, really sick and that person has diarrhea, let's just say, what does the doctor prescribe? ORS, isn't it? Oral rehydration
Yeah.
solution, right? Why? Because we are losing excessive fluid from our body. We are losing excessive amount of nutrients from our body when a person is having severe diarrhea or in general diarrhea, right? So in that case, the doctor prescribes the oral rehydration solution, which has enough electrolytes in it. Why? Again, to balance out. Without electrolytes, without the ions in our body, the impulses will not be conducted. The proper functioning of the body will not happen. That is why ions are very important. And to keep that balance, some urea is retained in the matrix of the kidney. Clear?
Yeah.
Then comes the uricotelic. Uricotelic organisms are those that have uric acid excreted as the nitrogenous waste, and they require the minimum loss of water for the removal of this nitrogenous waste. Now remember that the uric acid is not like how in our body the urea is excreted in the form of urine, right, which is a fluid, right? But in the case of uricotelic organisms, those that have uric acid as their excretory product, in them pellets or paste-like structure is excreted out. Have you all seen the poop of a bird?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross, I know, but this whole chapter is gross. So let's talk about it. So what have you noticed about it? It's like, how is it different?
White
How?
and green.
Oh, you've noticed it very carefully.
I
Yes,
have
it's right.
birds. That's
Oh, you do? Okay. So Even more close observation. So see, and have you ever seen your birds excreting out any fluid like how we produce urine?
No.
No, because that's not possible. Okay, why? Because your birds and birds in general and reptiles and most insects, they are uricotelic in nature, means that their bodies have uric acid synthesized in them. And that uric acid is expelled out or eliminated out of the body in the form of pellet or paste-like structure. It's not fluid. So if it is in the form of a paste, then that means it is having minimum loss of water, right? Minimum. So they are called as uricotelic organism, and the phenomena of excreting out the uric acid is called as uricotelism. Excretory product here is mainly uric acid, and it can be passed out almost in the form of precipitate since it is insoluble in water. That is why it becomes a paste-like structure. And this leads to minimum loss of water. And it's very important for land vertebrates laying shelled eggs. For them also it's very important because they can't afford the loss of excessive water from their body. Again, because birds, they also don't drink water as such. Not a lot, like how other organisms do. So they can't afford the loss of water. So this phenomena is clear, the different ammonotelism, urio, urico, all of it is clear to you students? Any doubts? No doubts? Yes or no? Speak something. Maha, your video is stuck. And Aisha, you're not switching on your video. Huh. Keep your video on. It's okay. I understand you have a lot of people around you, isn't it? You're constantly laughing and smiling. So keep your video on. It's okay. All right. Now you people note down anyway. So you can switch off your video. You can write down.
I'm done.
Yeah, both of you are done, students. Shall I scroll down?
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh.
Ma'am, what is N waste?
And waste means nitrogenous waste, nitrogen containing waste.
I'm done.
Both of you are done, students?
Yeah, ma'am.
Ma'am, yeah.
Both of you are done, students? Shall I scroll down? Shall I scroll down? Done, students? Are you done till here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. No, not done yet, Aisha?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So after this, we will be talking about the different excretory organs for different organisms. So when we talk about the invertebrates, meaning the lower organisms that do not have the notochord or the vertebral column, so they have simple tubular structures. Tubular structure means those structures that are tube-like structures. So for that, like you can say for the excretion purpose, they have that simple tubular structure. After that, there comes the vertebrates. Now, vertebrates, you know that they are the higher organism and they will have complex tubular structures that are called as the kidneys. The organisms called as platyhelminthes, which are the flatworms. Some examples would be planaria, rotifers, some annelids, and cephalochordates. They will, like other than platyhelminthes, this, and this, they will be having protonephridia or flame cells for excretion. Now remember, more than excreting out the waste product, they are responsible for balancing out the ionic and the fluid volume in their bodies, which is called as osmoregulation. Okay, so that osmoregulation is performed by the protonephridia or the flame cells. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Then, when we talk about the earthworm and the other annelids, so they have nephridia. Okay, instead of protonephridia, now they have nephridia, which is responsible for the removal of nitrogenous waste and osmoregulation. So it does dual things together. Cockroaches, they have Malpighian tubules. Like they also do not have this thing, what do you call it? The kidneys and stuff, but they have Malpighian tubules that will be performing the function of clearing out the nitrogenous waste from the body as well as doing the osmoregulation process. And then crustaceans like the prawns, they have antennal glands or green glands, which are responsible for again both the things, nitrogenous waste removal and osmoregulation process. So these different organs of excretion are clear to you for different organisms? Yeah, many a times this is asked in the fill in the blanks and they can also ask you this thing in the match the following. So pay attention to these, like you should remember these things. Then we come on to the human excretory system. The one that we are concerned with is the human excretory system that has the kidneys, like the parts of the human excretory system would be a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and a urethra. These are the different parts of the human excretory system. Is it clear, students?
Yeah.
Now, when you're noting down, you draw this diagram also, this part, only this part. Not this one, the human one you don't have to draw, the main enlarged part. Okay, now talking about the kidneys. So they are the reddish brown bean shaped structure. Where is it located? It is located in between the last thoracic and the third lumbar vertebrae area, in that area. The kidneys, they are 10 to 12 centimeters in length, 5 to 7 centimeters in width, like the broad breadth is 5 to 7 centimeters, and 2 to 3 centimeter is their thickness. The weight of each of the kidney is 120 to 170 grams. Clear, students?
Yeah.
Okay, note down till here.
I'm done. I'm done.
Both of you are done, students?
Yeah, ma'am.
I'm done.
Yes, both of you are done, students?
Yeah, ma'am.